Well, next this evening we have an award that represents an eclectic snapshot of Ireland, past and present. It is sponsored by Books Are My Bag, a campaign which celebrates bookshops across the UK and Ireland and reminds readers of the rich and rewarding experience that the independent bookshop has to offer. Well, to present the award, I'd like to welcome onto the stage Bob Johnston, who's chairman of the Irish Booksellers Association, along with Alan Statton, head of marketing from the Booksellers Association UK.
Good evening, everybody. Books in My Bag are delighted to be presenting the Best Irish Published Book of the Year in recognition of the stunning physical books that are produced by Irish publishers and that are devoured by the Irish public. The nominees for the Books on My Bag Best Irish Published Book of the Year awards are
Secrets of the Irish Landscape, edited by Matthew Jebb and Colm Crowley. Cork University Press, A History of Ireland in 100 Objects, Fintan O'Toole, Royal Irish Academy, ICA Book of Home and Family, Irish Countrywomen's Association, Gilland Macmillan, Harry Clark, The Life and Work, Nicola Gordon Bow, The History Press Ireland, A Portrait of Dublin in Maps, Maurice de Butler, Gilland Macmillan, and Vanishing Ireland, Friendship and Community, James Fennell and Turtle Bunbury. Hachette Ireland.
A stunning range of Irish published books, but the winner is Fintan O'Toole for The History of Ireland in 100 Objects.
Thank you so much to everybody who voted and to all the judges. Last week, the Irish Times published what we refer to internally as my obituary supplement. When I saw the state pathologist on stage, I thought I really have died. And now I'm convinced that the only time everybody says nice things about you is when you're dead. So this is clearly my afterlife, and it's pretty good. The book was launched in March in the National Museum by the great and good Seamus Heaney. He, of course, spoke with spine-tingling eloquence and wisdom. And although this is a very happy occasion, I'm also reminded of the enormous sadness that we are without him. He is an irreplaceable presence, and we are all the poorer for his passing. Thank you very much.
Fintan O'Toole, congratulations.
Thanks very much, John.
If I get my head around this, you are the winner of the Books Are My Bag Best Irish Published Book of the Year.
I'm glad you said that, not me.
And tell us, how did the book come about? Was it your idea?
No, it was a completely stolen idea, actually. I was in the British Museum a couple of years ago, and they had done a fantastic project called The History of the World in 100 Objects. And it really was superb. And I looked at it, and I remembered T.S. Eliot had said a great thing that bad writers borrow and good writers steal. So I thought, I'm going to steal this idea and do the more difficult thing. They only did the world, I had to do Ireland.
Right.
So the idea really was to try to draw attention to two things. One is that actually we have a fantastic cultural history here. We go back a long way, and we've done some great things. And as W.B. Yeats said, we are no petty people. And the other thing was, when I was a kid, my father used to bring us into the National Museum when it was wet, and he was off work and he had no money because it was free. And I always remembered him saying to me, this is yours. This stuff is priceless and it belongs to you. And I was about 6 or 7, and I never got over it, the idea that actually all this fabulous stuff belongs to every one of us. So I just really wanted to draw attention to those two things, that we have a great culture and actually it's accessible to each and every one of us as citizens. We all own it, and we have a right to go and look at it and enjoy it.
And I should say you're on a bit of a roll, and modesty may prevent you from telling us what else is happening in your life at the moment, but give us a summary of it.
Well, I did mention when I was getting the award that there was a supplement the Irish Times published last week for my 25th anniversary of writing a column in the Irish Times, and it was referred to internally as the obituary supplement. And I think now I probably am dead, because actually last week everybody's been saying nice things about me, you know, which is very unusual, and I think
Yes.
that only happens when you're dead. So you obviously must be dead as well. We must be in the afterlife, and this is what happens to you in the afterlife, and it's really pretty nice.
But it must be nice to get that acknowledgement with the award tonight, with the acknowledgement of your 25 years writing columns for the Irish Times. To get that, like, you wouldn't be human if you didn't feel.
I know it's fabulous, you know, and it really is. You know, to have things that you do recognised by your peers. But to be quite honest, I'm really, really pleased for Irish publishing about this. You know, I feel a bit of a hypocrite because some of my books are published in England with big publishers, but I've also always tried to publish with Irish publishers. You know. And the Royal Irish Academy, you know, they are absolutely astonishing. Every one of the books on the shortlist tonight in the Irish published books are absolutely beautiful objects themselves. You know, they're really beautiful things. I could recommend every one of those books as things that people could buy or give as presents. And you'd be proud of them. You know, you'd be proud of the design, you'd be proud of the conception. And each and every one of those represents people taking a huge risk, because they're expensive things to do.
Yes,
you know,
indeed.
to actually do a beautiful book costs money. And maybe they're mad. They all have this kind of act of faith in the book itself, the physical book as a thing that people still want to have.
Yeah.
And my book, I know the Irish government's bought a lot of copies of it, and they're giving it to diplomats, for example, or, you know, if there's a formal occasion, they still want to give a book. And I think there's still something quite important about that, actually, that the book still represents something about Ireland, about our culture, about our history. And I think a lot of readers still like to have a beautiful book in their house. It still is something that you feel, actually, you know, it makes us feel proud of ourselves a little bit.
And they can make a good connection with it. So just for your fans then, Fintan, there's no sense of you going into retirement now and leaving all your projects behind you?
Well, now that I'm dead, I suppose I just have an afterlife. I can do whatever I like.
Yeah. But your strident political commentary will continue, no doubt?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's a tough time for Irish people. It's, you know, people are very depressed about the place. But, you know, it's still one of the things about doing something about 10,000 years of Irish history, you know, as you realise.
We're good survivors.
Well, we've been through some pretty tough stuff before, which was kind of worse than this, you know, and actually out of all of that history, we did make something really important, actually, that there is a distinctive Irish culture, that it is rich, that it is actually contributes a lot to humanity. And I mean, I think as Irish people, we still have a lot to give. And sometimes if we maybe just think about that, that we are, you know, we're not better than everybody else, but you know, we're sort of people who have contributed something to the world, and we've something to give to the world still, and maybe we've something to give to ourselves, maybe which is some confidence in ourselves about the fact that we're actually capable of doing pretty important stuff. And if you just got that message across, that would be something useful for people.
Well, on that positive note, Fintan, congratulations again, and well done.
Thanks very much.